think we do one or two more. Look at this very enthusiastic lady over here. Let's do that. Waving with both hands, a high energy wave.
Hi, Milo.
Hi, Donnie.
I'm really fucking thrilled to be here.
Well,
I was outside that door earlier. But
you were?
I was.
Was it awful?
It was scary.
Was it scary?
Those guys came in the mask. I was scared shit.
Why were they in ski masks?
They're ugly. I don't know.
What's your question?
Well, actually, first, I wanted to say that fat shaming does work.
I mean, of course it does. But yeah.
So I'm 1 month into my weight loss journey, as the snowflakes would say. 15 pounds down. So, thank you. So thank you very much for that, Milo. You did that for me. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, just to interject briefly. I mean, they say that fat shaming doesn't work. Of course it fucking works. Of course it works. Anybody knows. If you come home and you've put weight on, you're sort of like your wife's not interested or your husband's not interested anymore, and you say, oh, does my look big? Well, yeah, a little bit. Of course it works. Everyone knows they stop getting sex when they get too big. What's the worst thing that could ever happen to you is somebody you love, you want to have sex with, and and all the real studies, not these sort of awful lefty, advocacy research, horseshit things, all the real studies say the same thing, that social pressure is the #1 reason why, sorry, I'm being unhelpful to you. Social pressure is the #1 reason why people make changes in their life generally, whether it's giving up smoking or losing weight or whatever. The sort of feeling that sense of social pressure. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Fat shaming is the virtuous choice. Fat shaming is a public service, so keep doing it. And I'm glad that you got something out of it. Thank you. I think you had a question.
I was just wondering what you thought about Godfrey Eldwick's bogus article to The Guardian about the alt-right.
Okay, yeah, thank you. That's a good tee-up question. There we go. Godfrey Elfwick, which is the finest comic creation on the internet, I encourage you to look up for his Twitter account, claims to be responsible for an article in The Guardian, anonymously written. And I believe that it was him because he's brilliant, and I've spoken to him before, that said, the alt-right turned me into a racist, but I pulled myself back from the brink, and I started with Sam Harris. I mean, talk about a guy, an implausible idiot, to try to pin it on Sam Harris, one of the most reasonable and intelligent thinkers, far more educated and interesting than I am, try to pin it on him and then say, oh, well, it started. It was a very somberly written thing. So this is an anonymous byline in The Guardian. So it started with Sam Harris videos, and then I discovered Milo Yiannopolous. And then finally, I started thinking to myself, ooh, maybe Muslims don't like gays that much. And my wife suddenly caught me, and I was like, oh my God, I've turned racist. Anyway, I pulled myself up. Anyway, this ridiculous thing. So obviously fictitious, so obviously full of shit. And they have the gall that they dare to accuse Breitbart of, or any of these other right-wing publications of fake news. The fake news is the stuff you read in the New York Times. It's Nate Silver. The fake news is the stuff that you read in The Guardian. The things that they desperately wish were true. They believe, and they want to believe are true. All Trump supporters are racists. All Trump supporters are motivated by this deep-seated patriarchal hatred of women. What, even the 52% of women that voted for him, you idiot. They all want to believe this. They have to believe it. They're desperate to believe it. That's the real fake news.
So anyways, I just want to say that fat shaming works. I used to be 325 pounds, and I watched your, fat shaming videos and all that shit. And you're literally been an influence in my life. I just want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you. Congratulations.
I'm not done losing weight. I've lost 75 pounds, but No,
congratulations.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so, and another fun thing. I took a picture of your bus, put it on Facebook, and there's already 15 comments from triggered chills.
No! Oh no! How awful.
Yeah.
I don't. The only reason I don't think the word faggot's ever been written that large in history. Like, I just don't think it's ever appeared that big because, you know, even if you've got like a spray can and you're doing it on the side of a house or something, you just can't get it that big, you know?
Yeah. So my question...
They're all hoaxes, by the way. That never really happens.
Yeah. So my question is, I'm not sure if you're aware or not. There's a university close to where I live, Duke University. Considered the Ivy League of the South.
I thought that was Vanderbilt.
I'm sorry.
They war over this stuff, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Vandy was very low energy, by the way. It wasn't like this.
Unfortunately, there's been something that's recently come out that's very much concerned me, being a senior in high school and looking for colleges. Something called the Duke Men's Project.
Oh, I think I've seen something about this. Yeah, tell us what it is.
All right, so the Duke Men's Project launched this month and hosted by the campus's Women's Center.
The Men's Project was launched by the Women's Center.
Yeah.
Well, you can imagine what that's going to be like.
It says it offers a 9-week program for male-identified students that discusses male privilege, patriarchy, the language of dominance, rape culture, pornography, machismo, and other topics. You know, and that's kind of scary. And
yes, it is.
You know, I was just wondering what your thoughts are on that. You know.
Well, my thoughts are, I hope that course is, remains unsubscribed. You know.
Yeah.
The best way to fight this stuff is just don't show up. They had, I think it was at Oxford, you know, one of the best universities. It's a weird thing, but often the best academic universities have the strongest social justice contingent. And I think it's because they have a lot of really smart people who keep their head down and get on with it. The people who just about get in, who by smart standards are thick, turn into social justice warriors. They're the people with like high verbal IQ but no reasoning skills. You know?
Right.
And so sort of the stupidest people in smart places always end up feminist or social justice warrior or whatever. Because they can't really cut it any other way, so they've got to plead victimhood and grievance. And no, the Marx scheme favors white men. Give me a fucking break. So I think the good news is most people are too sensible to take this stuff terribly seriously. And you hear about it all the time because the press is obsessed with reporting what happens on campuses, which is good. They should. It's important. But at Oxford, I think, like 3 people showed up for their equivalent of this. And there's all sorts of other wonderful... I mean, I'm trying as best I can, and I think it's working to ignite a sort of movement here, on American college campuses to fight this stuff. And I think it's working. In Michigan... They had an enrollment system this year where you probably know about this. In Michigan this year, they have an enrollment system where you could choose your own pronoun.
Yep.
We have all these hideous... No, you could choose your own pronoun. They have all these hideous, disgusting, explosions of consonants that are supposed to stand in for him and her. Like zir and hers. Just if you're gender fluid,
Pepe one?
you don't want to identify as a man or a woman. It's like I'm an attack helicopter. But somebody at Michigan wrote in the box when they were filling out His Majesty. And now, because of the rules, his professors are now obliged to refer to him as Your Majesty. This is the level of stupidity that colleges have now got themselves into by pandering to these weird gender warriors who want to break down the gaps between men and women and invent this crazy crap all to have a go at men. I mean, don't these cunts have anything better to do?
Obviously not.
No, they don't, because they want us to be as unhappy as they are. Well, we refuse. We decline to be as miserable as they are, and I think the best weapon you have at your disposal in cases like that, should you choose to go to Duke, is just don't show up. And if you do show up, mercilessly ridicule them, and make sure you register as His Majesty.
Yes, yes, obviously.
Thanks very much.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
First thing I have to say, I promise I'm not with that guy, but where he was saying he lost a bunch of weight, so far I've lost about 40, 50 pounds.
Well, congratulations.
Nicole Arbor.
Well,
so fat shaming does work.
Of course it works. In what universe does fat shaming not work? If you're with somebody and you love them and they say, not tonight, of course you're going to stop eating. Anyway, carry on, please.
All right, so yeah. I'm trying. Be good.
Well, congratulations.
Right,
it's not fun. But you can't fix things unless you tell the truth about them in the first place. You should have eaten fewer baked beans this evening. Yes. From the look of you, diet is a problem. No. Oh, stop the press is a gay man's catty. Oh, good Lord. No speech. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let me tell you, sir, fat shaming works. Of course it works. I mean, who would ever imagine that fat shaming wouldn't work? Like somebody you love, so do I look hot in this? No, not anymore. You'd stop eating.
I'd like to compliment Milo on introducing my children to anti-feminism before I did myself.
Because I want them to be happy.
Of course.
I'm a nice person. I want people to be happy, and they won't be happy if they're feminists.
Exactly. We have Solutions Sundays in Women Against Feminism, and a lot of our women are asking what we can do to help more women discover why we need to be against feminism and how to actually be solutions-oriented. What's your advice?
I think you should start being civilly disobedient. I think you should start... I mean, look, there was this movement in the 60s to burn bras. You know, women were all sort of, oh, we're giving up on this, you know, male expectations. Our self-esteem, you know, is not determined by what a man thinks of us. We're going to, you know, enter the workforce, give up on motherhood, all the rest of it. All these things were disasters for women. I think you should burn your briefcases. I think you should have women going out and going out and dressing up in suits and briefcases and put them on a massive bonfire outside your Parliament House and declare your love of motherhood. Declare your love of children and the one thing feminists hate more than anything else is women who stubbornly won't make the choices that feminists wish they would. And talking about the supreme joy and value and profundity, life-changing value of being a mother is something that most of these vile, single, childless harridans cannot relate to and will never relate to and hate you for. So rub it in their faces, because life as one of us is great. You know, we have so much more fun than the other side. We just don't tell people about it. If you want to encourage people to live a happier, better, more virtuous life, don't tell them what to do. Show them that your way is better. Show them how happy and hot and fulfilled you are. And I would love to see a movement.